Camera on. We're rolling. It's plugged in. I'm checking. It's been a little while. It's been a little while. Yeah, what else we're missing? Lights. Yeah. I don't know. Dust bunnies flying everywhere. Welcome to my life. I'm Deathstalker 5 coming in for a very spontaneous, very random table talk. Yeah. I have no idea what we're going to do. I'll explain. First thing is, make sure you have something to drink. I found a Spriker root beer rolling around in the back of the refrigerator. Yeah, I tried to contact them. I said, let's make Spriker the tabletop soda of choice. Yeah, I never heard back. Imagine that. Good stuff anyway. Yeah? What do we got going on? I don't know. A whole lot of war in the world, yeah? All of a sudden. Yeah. A lot of war going on. Sometimes it's good to come back. Kick up your feet. Without shoes on, by the way. Just throw them right on the table. Deathstalker 5's not going to judge you. Yeah? It's good to have a place come kick your feet up. Escape from the world a little bit. Especially when everything you see is going to be dominated by like terrible news. Yeah? I don't have much to say on that front. Other than this. Yeah? I can't speak for people that live all around the world. But I will speak to the Americans. My fellow Americans. I've been telling people here last several days that if you have the ability, you got a little extra cash or something, no matter what happens with this war, gas prices are going to go up. I don't think for a very long time, but in the short term, we're already seeing dramatic, steep price hikes in petroleum products. If you've got a little bit of extra money, you got the ability to do it, go to the grocery store, buy you some staples for, I'd say 2 weeks, 3 weeks at most. Put them in the freezer, put them at the house. That way you're not running out and having to pay God knows how much because they're going to jack the prices up as high as they can on us. Yeah, it's oil prices are speculative at best. Any excuse they have, they're going to raise them. We know this from experience, right? We've been around a little bit. So just prepare for that to happen no matter what happens. I try to look out for you guys. I try to look out for you, even in the midst of wars. We'll get into this stuff in a minute. I'm thirsty. What's been going on in Deathstalker 5's life? It's been a while since I've been on. I barely registered. That it's been like a month since we've done anything. It's just, life has been nuts, guys. I need a carton of Marlboro Reds. And something stronger than root beer. Yeah. Life has been nuts. My wife was in Israel. Thank God we got her back, apparently. Thank God. Yeah? She got back home, guys. For the same reason I don't fly anymore. I don't do international travel. She came back, was sick as a dog. Poor creature. I mean sick. Yeah, that's what happened to me. Come on, you're going through the airport with a whole bunch of people that feel like they gotta be somewhere no matter what virus they have. And they're all just in there, you're breathing the air, you're breathing their snot. It's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, but my wife has to go back and forth a little bit internationally. But I feel sorry for her, but I just stay here with the cats. Yeah, I thought while she was gone, I would have a chance to do a whole lot of videos and stuff. That didn't pan out. Got super busy around here with everything other than the show. I've been bare minimum popping on for the members doing live streams and our member videos, our questions, answers, and advice videos. I hate plugging myself, But those monthly member videos, they're some of the best. They're some of the best stuff you're ever going to see in your life. Yeah. So I will shamelessly plug it because we have such a good time. We have such a good time. We have a great time watching movies. We watched what? Ator the Fighting Eagle last week. It was amazing. Yeah? It was amazing. So lots going on there. Lots going around the community in our Discord channel, Facebook group, etc. Guys, even when I'm away from the show, it amazes me how much you guys just keep rolling, and I get to sit back and watch the community and participate from the sideline for a little while. I absolutely love it. So a big shout out to our members that support the show. Big shout out to our Random Encounter Army. All of our subscribers here on YouTube and our Facebook groups and in our Discord groups, etc. You guys make the community. You make this happen. And if you're not part of it, hit that subscription button. Why are you waiting around? It's not going to hurt you. Yeah? No one's going to judge you if they find out you're part of the Random Encounter show, that you're subscribed to it. Well, maybe they will. So create a YouTube channel create a YouTube account as a side thing. Don't let anybody know. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. But we're getting back into the thick of things. And I thought, why not just come on, have a root beer, sit and talk about some stuff we've been doing, talk about life a little bit, and get back into the thick of the things like we normally do. I don't know what you guys want me to tell you. Do I need to tell you that while we were watching Ator the Fighting Eagle, we have a chain pizza place around here. For those that don't know what I'm talking about. It's called Papa John's. Yeah? I like Papa John's. I need a Papa John's and a Domino's to be built next to my house. And let's have a war. Let's have a Papa John's versus Domino war. Right here in the Dungeon of Doom. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do taste testings. Yeah, I like both. Papa John's may come on top though. Yeah, anyway, they sent me a coupon. 50% off their entire menu, no restrictions. This was Satan. This was Satan reaching out to me. It knew I couldn't resist. They know I could not resist. Guys, do you just think I bought my normal pizza, which is the biggest pizza they can sell me, with everything that they can possibly put on it? Do you think I just did that? The answer is no. Guys, you have no idea. I don't even know. I talked myself into Crazyville. I even talked the wife. And she can't even eat wheat. She needs gluten-free stuff. I don't know. I don't get the gluten-free thing. I don't get it. Okay, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. But for somehow human beings ate wheat for like 20,000 years or whatever. And up till now, you know, like the last 20 years, all of a sudden everybody's glucose intolerant. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I'm certainly not. Give me bread. Give me pizza. Give me donuts. This is the stuff that gives me trouble. Yeah, I can't handle it. I can't resist it. I can't. You know, I've been trying to lose weight. I'm always struggling trying to lose weight. Yeah, I can't resist this stuff. Guys, 50% off Papa John's. You have no idea. The pizzas, the cheese sticks, the Papa Bites, the wings. They were even giving us 50% off 2-liter Pepsis. I was getting them for like $1.50 each. I just filled up. I filled up. I know when I put the order in, somebody got fired. Somebody got fired. Yeah. Guys, I'm not joking. I think I have pictures of it. Yeah. We put the order in. We drove up to Papa John's. I'm like, there's no way they're giving us this stuff. There's no way. I don't even want to tell you how much we spent. And we had extra coupons and Papa Dough and all this. So it was more than 50% off. Yeah. I was scared they were going to like get to the store and be like, yeah, we're not honoring any of this. Yeah, it felt like robbery, guys. It felt like pure, just straight up robbery. It was just pure, straight greed. You know, I was grabbing stuff for groceries and stuff. Yeah. But I swear to you, we pulled up to the Papa John's, and not behind the store, but pulled up and parked right at the front door. They had a Papa John's 18-wheeler, and they were carrying stuff as fast as they could in on hand trucks. I told the wife, I said, look, they've called backup in. Look at what we've done. Yeah, we made it up to the front door, and they had just put up a note, you know, a handwritten note of all the stuff they were now out of. They knew who we were when we walked in. And they just started bringing it out. They you know how normally they come out with the boxes and stuff? They were bringing it out in bags. Yeah, it took 2 trips to fill the back seat of the car up. I promise you, I'll put pictures up. But the 18-wheeler in front of the store, I knew it was on. They had already, we put the order in, and they already just made handwritten notes. They're out of everything. Yeah? Thanks, Deathstalker 5. We ruined the Papa John's chain. They're going out of business. I just saw the news a few days ago. They're closing locations down across America. You guys can thank me for that. We put it to them, though. But they got their revenge. The Papa John got its revenge, guys. You know, do I need to tell you? I don't mean to be gross, but I do, because it's funny in ways. Yeah, but do I need to tell you how constipated you get after eating nothing but pizza or bread and cheese for like 5 or 6 days? Oh my God. Oh my goodness. It's not good. It's not good. Do I need to tell you that I literally gained 10 pounds in a week? Yeah? Where's Dr. Now at? Where's Dr. Now? I need him now. You guys are going to see me on the 600-pound sisters or whatever. I don't know. We're going to sumo wrestle. Y'all got to get Papa John's away from me. But oh my goodness, the level of constipation you get. I'm glucose intolerant now. Yeah? I don't know. I'm what is the dairy one? Lactose intolerant. I'm intolerant of everything. Guys, I gained 10 pounds. I was constipated for like all week. Oh my God, it was pure misery. And you couldn't quit eating. How are you going to stop? How are you going to stop every time you open the refrigerator? Every time you open the freezer, there's a big, beautiful pizza pie. There's jalapeno cream cheese Papa Bites. There's Chipotle honey wings. You can't, cheese sticks. You can't stop, guys. It's too good. It's too good of a thing. It's too good. You know, it's not good when something's too good. Oh, we did it to ourselves. And then to top off the week, what is it, Saturday? Thursday, we finally decided let's take a break from just eating nothing but pizza and cheese sticks and wings and such things. So we decide we're going to go up to our little local restaurant that does a country food. You know, we're country food. I'll tell you about it in a second. You know, they do a buffet, all you can eat, at evening times, starting at 5 o'clock. So I didn't necessarily plan on eating a buffet. But when you're on a roll, just roll, baby, right? I go in there. They've got chicken. They've got beef tips on rice. But they've got au gratin potatoes, and it's just covered in cheese. Oh, my God. Could I resist? No. They had big vats of lima beans. Could I resist? No. Fried okra, bring it on. Put me in the hospital. And then collard greens. Boiled collard greens. You know what I'm talking about. Country food. Cornbread. Did I eat 2 big bowls of collard greens with hot pepper sauce on it? The answer is yes. Did Dave Lister from Red Dwarf walk into the restaurant and sit down with an old man? You know, this was a young Dave Lister. Apparently he had been eating Papa John's as well. I swear it was Dave Lister. He walked in with an older white man, and I swear it was Crichton, except something had went horribly wrong. Yeah, Crichton had aged somehow. I don't know, space-time distortions flying out of everywhere. What a week. What a week. But do I need to sit there and tell you that I ate these 2 giant bowls of collard greens? And as we were leaving the place, going in the parking lot, I don't know, it sounded like an aquarium filter got plugged. And I heard this gluck, 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 gluck noise. I said, oh my goodness, that's not good. I mean, it was me making the noise. It was me. I was like, that's not good. Yeah, something's wrong. Something was terribly wrong, guys. I didn't make it 10 minutes down the road. I'm running into a gas station. Just this little gas station off the highway. In the middle of nowhere, because that's where I live, in the middle of nowhere. Everything's in the middle of nowhere. I run in there, right? And there's nobody in the store except the lady behind the counter. I must have looked desperate, yeah? She just pointed at the bathroom when I ran in. I guess I ran in. I'm in emergency mode. I'm in a panic. Bad things are happening to me. I've been constipated for like 6 days, and all hell's about to break loose. Yes, so I run into the bathroom. Oh my God. Oh my God. Guys, I'm glad I was the only one there, guys. You guys would have no respect for me. I don't even respect me anymore from what happened in that bathroom. Yeah? You ever go to the bathroom somewhere and you feel so bad it's almost like an obligation? You buy something, anything, just give these people some money? Yeah, that's what I come out to. I've got to buy something. But also my heart sort of sunk. Yeah? Because when I came out of the bathroom, the place was filled with sheriff deputies. And the first thing I thought was, they've called the law. They've called the law. They've probably got an ambulance on the way. Yeah, somebody ran into the bathroom. They heard some really weird noises, and apparently they're dead. Yeah. But yeah, it was so bad. I had to go up and just buy some stuff, right? Just stuff I didn't even need or really want. I just felt bad. Guys, I don't know where this is going. What else have I been doing all week? Working on a truck? Yeah, turning wrenches under the hood of the truck. My truck set up all winter. I had to siphon the gas out of it because I don't want to drop the gas tank. Put new gas in it. Put a new battery in it. Got the air filter back on. Cleaned the spark plugs. Put them back in. Got the truck running because the battle of the Wisteria is on. It's back with a revenge in my front yard. Look it up on Google. You'll see the Wisteria growing on the satellite imagery live. Yeah? So, these are the battles I fight out here in the wilderness. Welcome to my life. I don't have much of one, do I? Yeah? Getting on and talking about constipation wasn't in my plan, but there you go. I said we were going to talk about life. Yeah, gaming-wise, can we get into some gaming stuff? Isn't this a gaming channel? For Christ's sake? Yes, gaming-wise. Guys, you see me streaming on the computers and stuff. If I don't jump on and stream for the main channel, I jump on for the members. That's normally when I don't feel like cleaning myself up and I can look like a complete slob, for those that support the show. Yeah, but anytime I jump on the computers, I do some gaming. I haven't had a lot of a chance to do that in the last few weeks. But here lately, guys, though I need to tell you that I've been planning on doing a bunch of episodes. I got a bunch of episodes on the back burner. I've got the stuff set up over there. It's ready to go. Like I said, I'm just getting my feet wet again. Coming in and talk to you guys, sort of update you. But in doing that, do I need to tell you that I was looking at some hostile stuff and Cepheus stuff, just looking some information up. Yeah? And did a spontaneous solo, the root beer's fighting me, hostile game begin. Yes, it did. So my table's full of the campaign books, the core books and stuff for hostile. Guys, for a spontaneous game where you just sit down and you just get a little. I get this. This is solo gaming. This is solo gaming primer right here. You're not going to get this material anywhere else. Come on. I sat down, and all of a sudden it came to me. I said, I just want to start a little solo game that when I have insomnia, which I'm battling right now. Yeah, I have spells of it. Full moons come out. My hair grows ridiculously. My teeth get very sharp, and I start howling at the moon at night. I don't know. Anyway, to battle the insomnia, I had this little idea. I said, I wanna solo. It's been in the back of my mind for a while. I wanna create a character that's a marshal, a colonial marshal in the hostile universe, based out of the Liberty Station, not car insurance, but Liberty Station. You know, it's on the tap, the big space elevator with the orbital platform that comes off the Earth. Yeah, out of South America in the hostile setting. You know, that's sort of where all spaceships and stuff leave and depart from the Earth for the most part. And that's where all the ore and all the petroleum and all the goods and stuff come from the colonies and mines and industry of outer space back to Earth. Yeah, I said, I want to play a marshal there. And I dove in, and I used the solo tools here. I don't solo the way that Hostile Solo portrays solo. I tend to just play a character and actually role play it. I don't like the abstractness of it. Sometimes it's good, but I don't need to. We're not going off that path right now. That's for another video. I created a marshal. Callan was his name. And I got behind his eyes, and I just started at the Liberty Station. And you have one of those solo games where the story starts out so good, it's like a really good TV show or a really good novel where you just got to keep coming back to it. You can't take it, not knowing what's going to happen next. That's how I like my solo games. So this marshal on the station, he was once part of the American Police Service, the APS, which is a nationalized police service in the hostile setting. So it's a national agency. In the APS, he was, his backstory was he came out of the units that dealt with synthetics. Do I have that book here? Let me look. I got some packages to open here in a minute. This is, I mean, I've been diving deep, guys. Look at all the material. Synthetics. This covers your clones or your proles and your androids and such in the hostile setting. Yeah? He had specialized in hunting down illegal clones and modified robots. Modified robots as in where they take the commercial androids and they modify the BIOS of them to take away any limitations that factory set that come with the robots. Yeah? We'll get into this more. That's not part of the hostile. So that's just my own created stuff. I just supplement my games with the tools from my library. Anyway, he comes into the Marshal Service. They put him on the Liberty Station. He's going to be assisting them, but also working still in investigations of synthetics. Anyway, the story just went completely crazy. They had somebody they knew was an inmate on Earth that had been let out of prison. He showed up to Liberty Station and should have been flagged coming in. You know, that, hey, this guy's not allowed. He got out of prison, but he's not allowed, you know, to be out in space and whatnot. You know, he wasn't dangerous physically, like a violent person, but he was dangerous because when he went to prison for hacking, and he was a master of manipulating electronics and such. Anyway, he wasn't flagged coming in because of his pass card. He used his pass card, nothing flagged. He was in the station, but he was recognized by some of the marshals as being a famous ex-convict on Earth. So the investigation began with the marshals trying to figure out just how he bypassed the hardline security systems. That he walked in, and even though the computer did a facial recognition and knew who he was, somehow it still gave him a pass to go where he wanted to go. Anyway, my Callan was put on the investigation, but instead of grabbing him and all that, what we wanted to do was figure out where he was going and trail him there. Yeah, because we knew that something was going on. So my character outside of uniform, undercover, befriends him, talks to him, etc. at the one of the bars that are on the Liberty Station. He was on a layover for a day. He was heading out to the asteroid belt. Yeah, big surprise. My character said, "Really? I'm heading out there too for work." They ended up on the same shuttle. They went out to the asteroid belt, rendezvoused with a small station out there that's used as a mining platform for Tharsis, one of the companies in the hostile setting. Anyway, the whole platform was basically a snakehead operation. The snakeheads is one of the major gangs in the hostile setting of like organized crime. It came out of Asia with the Chinese triads and such. They specialize in illegal synthetics and also illegally moving people to places they shouldn't be. People like our ex-convict. Anyway, I don't know why I go so deep on things, guys. You need all these details. It's interesting though. Anyway, we get there. It's a massive snakehead operation. They brought him there and they're paying him for the technology that was used to trick security systems in validating passengers who should have not been validated for travel. Yeah? Turns out Roy had learned, his name was Roy, the inmate. He had learned that the pass cards, they're sort of like SIM cards and such here on Earth that store your personal data and such. He had implemented a script routine that when the card was inserted into a scanner, the script or the programming told to scanner that no matter what, if it flags it as somebody who shouldn't travel, no matter what it flags it, always pass it. Always say it's a valid person that's good to go. Yeah, so that would be a crazy piece of tech for a smuggling operation, a smuggling operation that focuses on smuggling people mostly. Yeah, so with those type of cards, their job's made easy because anybody can receive one of these, and unless somebody physically puts eyes on them or really checks into them, the computer system's always going to be told to let them roll. They're good. Yeah? Anyway, my marshal and his partner, they get there, they're investigating, they find all this out. The Marines got involved. Yeah? The Interstellar Marines got involved in the hostile setting. That this place was already a hotbed. And the Colonial Marshal Service and everything had already flagged it. Now they had myself and my partner inside. They came in and we shut this place down. Anyway, we capture Roy, the inmate. We capture sort of the head of operations here. But something on Earth happens very strangely while we're there. Yeah, we get information that the snakeheads are bringing in some kind of illegal synthetic androids that has something to do with cloning. So we're dispatched back to the Earth immediately while they clean up the asteroid mining platform. We get back to Earth. Sure enough, a shuttle had bypassed Liberty Station and landed in what's modern day Los Angeles in the setting. Yeah? And they think that 5 murders on executives from the Makita Corporation are connected after the shuttle had landed. We get down, we start investigating. The Makita operation, our corporation, they're a subsidiary of, I can't remember who, guys. The details is You guys can figure it out in the setting books. Anyway, they specialize in making clones or proles. The people that were murdered, two of them were lead scientists at this Los Angeles Makita location. Three of them were ex-employees that were working for another subsidiary of Makita. So anyway, we start investigating these murders. We run into an illegal prole. Proles are clones. Proles and hostile, they have a limited lifespan, 4 years? And they have implemented memories and stuff, sort of like replicants on Blade Runner, honestly. That's how I treat them, except they're not androids. They're biological, they're clones. This one's an illegal one, and he had 4 associates that were androids, which is really odd, but I thought that was odd, but that's what we rolled up. We start investigating him. We snatch the illegal prole. We have to kill him. You know, he's not going down without a fight. We have to kill him. We capture the 4 androids. They have been modified, their BIOS removed, and a new BIOS implemented on them. We're able to retrieve from their ROM some of their recorded data and such. And it goes back to Makita. They're in Los Angeles. Long story short, we start investigating Makita. No one has a clue why anybody was murdered. Bebop boop. We go to where one of the lead scientists lived, and her neighbors, one of them brought up that they saw her at her apartment after she was supposedly murdered. Right? On further investigation, we find somebody across the street that had security cameras up. And while they didn't capture her on video, you know, hours after she was murdered, we can see the lights and stuff of the house, of the apartment they're on. And there's people inside, and it looks like they're emptying the apartment of things. But when we went to the apartment, after the police had already done an initial investigation, all the furniture and all the stuff was there in the apartment. Nothing looked like it was really missing. But we had a big mystery on our hands. How come her neighbor physically identified her, saw her with another man, which wasn't typical? She came home. What was some of the other clues we got? She wasn't wearing her normal clothes. Normally she would come and she'd wear her lab coat and stuff to and from work and all this. She wasn't wearing that. But he seen her and another man come to her apartment. They stayed for about 30 minutes and then they left. And we had a confirmation that somebody was at the apartment during that time based on the security footage from across the street. So we start investigating. Yeah, it starts taking wild turns. Turns out that the people that were murdered weren't actually murdered. These were clones they had created of themselves in order to fake their deaths. Yeah? We're investigating heavy with Makita. We're investigating the subsidiary. We go down there and we're looking at why are they a subsidiary? What are they making for the company? We get into there. We're investigating around. Undercover, of course. They're not making clone products. They're not making genetic products. Nothing to do with clones. They're actually specializing in making droids and android products. Yeah, aftermarket stuff. Long story short, we wrap up the investigation. What they're doing is they're creating androids, removing a lot of the androids. They're not wearing the synthetic latex skin or whatever. They're actually growing cloned parts, you know, epidermis, skin, eyes. They're even putting in various things like blood vessels and such. Basically, they don't have organs per se, but they have a way to pump blood through the skin to keep it alive. Yeah, this gives, I get deep into stuff, guys. But anyway, what you have is androids walking around with all the data they can have on certain people. And they grow, they vat grow skin and everything and make it look just like the person. Except now it's an android walking around with biological tissue and such on it. Yeah? What a weird conspiracy we had stepped into, because that has a lot of implications to it. You know, that say you wanted to, I don't know, fake the head of a corporation or a politician or something. You go in there, you get a little bit of their hair, a little bit of their saliva or whatever, and you start up the cloning process. But instead of having a clone that has to grow and you have to implement all these memories and stuff, you take AI and you have it analyze all known footage and photographs and records and stuff of these people. It immediately knows everything about them that you can possibly gain from records and such. It can watch videos of them and learn to copy their mannerisms and patterns of speech and everything. So now you have an android that from all outside appearances appears to be a biological person, but that also means that it will pass security scans of that person. So say you got a head of a corporation. You kidnap him, replace him with the android that's going to pass off as him. It's got his fingerprints, it's got his blood, it's got his hair, it's got his retinas and his eyes. This thing's going to be able to bypass security for a while. And that could prove disastrous in a lot of situations. Anyway, we finally track down where the supposedly murdered scientists and lead engineers and stuff of this plan that was doing this. They get to the planet Cyclops. Yeah? And that's where we are now. All hell's broken loose. There's basically replicants / Terminators with biological skin and stuff running around. It's yeah, this kind of stuff sucks me in, guys. So yeah, we'll do a deep delve of Hostile. I put that out 2 years ago almost. We're in for all this. We're going to start with Castles and Crusades. We're going to make our way to Hostile and fill in all the gaps in between. Yeah. But yeah, I can't say enough about Hostile and the Cepheus engine. I love Traveler. If you guys watched it, I did an interview with Jack McCarthy a few weeks ago. You can find that, Jawing with Jack. I got to sit and talk to him. We talked about getting into science fiction rules and stuff. And I said, look, it wasn't until 2016 until I finally took the deep dive into some science fiction role-playing games. And I haven't looked back since. Fantasy's still my number one thing. You know, but just like I said there, I saw Mongoose 2nd edition Traveler coming up for release. Was this 2016? I'm pretty sure. And it looked good, and I had been looking at Traveler off and on for years. I had just never made the jump. Yeah, because science fiction, before you really get into it, it almost seems just too big. It just seems really just too big for gaming. From somebody who plays fantasy gaming primarily. But I dove into it. Mainly because when I saw its release, I said, you know, my favorite TV shows have always, or series anyways, have always been science fiction. Why am I holding myself back? I want to dive in and check things out. So yeah, I was heavily impressed with Traveler. Had some really good campaigns with the Traveler system. But it didn't take long with the cash grab that what this represented was a massive cash grab. Great game. I just couldn't keep up with it. Instead, I started looking at things like Cepheus Deluxe, Zoser Games, Cepheus products and stuff. And you know, we talked about it in videos before. I found Hostile, and it's just right up my alley with the way the future and science fiction is portrayed. Stuff like out of Blade Runner and the Alien movies and Overland and such, with a more gritty, dark atmosphere. Hard workers in space trying their best to make it. What's the bonus situation? Yeah. So, yeah, jumping into science fiction, I'm absolutely in love with it. Yeah, I still play a lot of fantasy. I'm not giving up my dream. I'm a fantasy guy. I've been in the days of high adventure since I could start reading, basically. Yeah. But yeah, don't be afraid to jump into some science fiction. The trick is yes, the universe is massive. Everything is going on all at once. Get behind the eyes of a single character. And just like nowadays, we live in a world. Other than watching the news all the time, we've become consumers of news for some reason. But other than watching the news a lot, what's going on everywhere else isn't even on your mind. Yeah? It's all about what's going on around you. Same way with science fiction. That focus on what's going on around your characters. Get them involved in the story. The rest of the universe will be out there. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we got some packages in here. We've got two. This is one reason I said let's do the episode like this. It's just going to be random. I said, but we got a lot of little things to cover here. Our first package coming in from Ken Kennedy. You guys remember Ken. I'm looking. Ken sent over two of his games that I absolutely love. He sent Star Drifter and Drifter. What they are, if you remember, they're a lot like Barbarian prints based on hex maps and such. You got to print them out or use PDFs, which is probably the best way to go. And you'll have your hex locations with several options and game directions and such that they will take you. Both fantastic, but I was always a fan of Barbarian prints. So these were right up my alley. He produced another game in the series and sent it over. He actually sent it over for the holiday special, but of course Drive-Thru RPG took their time getting it here. And we've been sort of on a hiatus here lately. We need the guest star of the show. Here's Lucky! Yeah? Let's make sure we don't cut the book. Oh, he's still sharp from the holiday special. Oh boy. Okay. Let's dive into here. Okie dokie. So, we've got The Adventurer. Yeah? The Adventurer, Dungeons and Drifters. Let me close this so we don't cut our arm open live on air. Is a solitaire game. You play it alone. In this narrative game, no opponent is required. The book walks you through a series of events that are different each time you play. You, as a fledgling adventurer, will wander a fabled land, battling savage beasts, meeting mysterious strangers, traversing ancient ruins, and exploring forgotten dungeons in hopes of completing your quest. An endless combination of story possibilities in an exciting world of fantasy and adventure awaits. Yeah, getting to the fantasy side. We had the science fiction side, we had the western side. Basically my three favorite genres of media. Fantasy, science fiction, and westerns. Yeah? Let's just take a quick dive in here. I just want to take a look. I'll show you any kind of pertinent thing. So we've got our system. We've got classes. So yeah, we're going to have to get the hex map. I'm going to have to get with Ken. We're going to need the hex maps and such so we can poke around at this. Basically, outside of character creation and such, you're going to have your hex-based locations along with optional things that happen there based on maybe how you roll or if you've been there before, etc. I already see here we have tables where we roll upon them and generate our adventure along with encounters, etc. along the way. I see caverns, I see cities, dwarven settlements, portals, caves, ruins, cave systems, sacrificial chambers, taverns. Oh, we're speaking the right language here, buddy. So yeah, this is something we will dive into and we will cover more in depth down the road. Guys, you know I refuse to review anything that I haven't put a good amount of playtime in. I'm not one of those YouTubers that get something and we're just going to give it a review and all this. That don't work for me, Jack. It don't work for me. Yeah? There's plenty of YouTube channels I will never look at what they talk about because they do that exact thing. You know, no. Anyway, something to look forward to in the future. Something else to look forward to in the future. I had a member of the Random Encounter Army message me on Discord. And he said, hey, I know you love obscure games from the 80s and 90s. And I'm like, yes, I do actually. They're the best. He says, I think I found you something that I've never seen covered on YouTube, etc. That you may be interested in. His name's Travis. Yeah, we're not going to give too many personal details out of here. And yeah, let me pop this thing open here. We could probably open it without Lucky, but what's the fun of that? Nice packaging. So it's like a party came in the mail. Yeah, I love it. And what he told me of this, and from what little I could find on it, I'm actually super interested in it, to be honest. And it's not something that I would ever see on my own and say, wow, that sounds interesting at first glance. Anyway, it is the Way role-playing game. Yeah, I love the artwork, honestly. I love the artwork here. Check that out. Classic fantasy art. And I'll tell you about this in a second. Oh, the inside looks amazing. Yeah? Not gonna lie. Look at that. Look at the artwork and such. Yeah? Look at what we've got going on here. I'm in. Based on the artwork, I'm in. Look at the artwork, guys. This is screaming. It's screaming. Don't you guys miss when RPGs had artwork like this? We've got locations. Oh, what do we got going on here? I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing, is I really don't know much about this game. I do know a few bare facts before we get in, and it may cover this. We'll read the back of this, the synopsis of the game system. From what I do know of this, there was an RPG, if I'm not mistaken, was created in 1993 out by someone in the Church of Sweden. Strange history. They wanted to create a fantasy role-playing game to use for their game nights at church, basically. From there, a lot of stuff came out in Sweden, but somebody finally printed at least the first core rule book in English and renamed it The Way. Don't expect me to remember what the Swedish name of this is. Even if I had it in front of me, I wouldn't be able to pronounce it. Yeah? So what it represents is from what I could tell, a Christian-based fantasy role-playing. And I've seen a few of those pop up here and there over the years, and none of them really caught my interest. Yeah? I have no problem with it being a Christian-based thing, but it was, for whatever reason, it was just a derogative of Dungeons and Dragons and with some stuff removed and added, etc. This one actually caught my eye because it's on a completely unique system of mechanics using 3d6, and it includes, dwarves, elves, and halflings and character classes and such things. Yeah? And yeah, let's just read it and I'll talk a little bit more. Maybe I won't have to say so much. Role-playing games in the confirmation group. I think that's what it says. One cannot base a confirmation course solely on role-playing games, but it is a valuable tool for certain aspects of it. So I don't know what a confirmation group is. Maybe that's some sort of Swedish church group or something. The game stimulates the students and gets them involved in the issues at stake. It makes problems more concrete and allows students to find their own solutions and see the consequences of their actions. The gaming session contains a lot of group dynamics. Each student is forced to make up his or her mind on how the issues ought to be dealt with, and if the players disagree, they must deal with that conflict. Role-playing, therefore, furthers cooperations. That's not really telling me much about the game. It's talking about how to role-play. The 3 adventures in this book deal mainly with moral issues. The confirmation students face a series of difficult decisions that make them investigate their own attitudes and values. There is rarely any obviously correct way ahead. The adventures also deal with the conflicts between people devoted to a good cause and a world that is usually characterized by secularized indifference and utilitarianism. To be able to use this book, you also need 3 regular dice. I'm guessing 6-sided dice. That doesn't tell us a whole lot about this game. So we get we get how to role play and such. Yeah? How to go about role playing, but tell us about this game a little bit. So the game's for educational purposes, as they're billing it. Okay. Basically, from what I studied, you got a full-fledged fantasy RPG here. The game's pushed less toward combat and less toward, like, I don't know. It's not pushed toward combat and conflict. Instead, I guess because it's a Christian-based RPG, resolution relies heavily upon problem solving and avoiding conflict with morals and ethics. Does that sound sort of boring? If you played in my groups, maybe it does, but also it's actually sort of intriguing to me. That part's actually intriguing to me. From what I see, you have several attributes. You have your strength and perception, intelligence, dexterity, endurance, appearance. You've got several races. Human, elf, or dwarf. Okay. You've got your classes. You've got the magician, the warrior, the scout. And then you have skills. So it's got skills in the game as well. There's combat. I mean, as soon as the game's... We're only like 2 pages in, and here's the combat rules. So the game's not without combat. Yeah? And we get examples. The game's not without spells and magic. Yeah? A lot of the so-called Christian RPGs that I've seen in the past, they've removed the magic. They've removed a whole lot of stuff. But at its core, it's just D&D without a whole lot of stuff that they would deem offensive, I guess, within church groups. I have no idea, guys. I don't know how to take the whole church thing in role-playing games. My only experience was an AD&D game that was ran in a Baptist church basement for, I would say, probably 4 years I was involved with that. We were running first edition AD&D. We were running Greyhawk. The guy that was over our group, he was actually not a preacher or a minister, as you would call it, a youth minister or anything. He was a social worker, so he wasn't even affiliated with the church, but he ran a youth group program out of the church. So that's my only experience with church and role-playing games. So I find it very interesting that this one's actually made for church groups, and it was actually made non-denominational, I guess, so that it wouldn't upset the various sects of Christianity. Yeah, it says members of the youth movement of the Church of Sweden, members of the Sorregon Live Role-Playing Society, participants in the Church of Sweden youth events at the Finnacker Center. 1993 was when it was first produced, and 1997 is when it was brought here. But how interesting. You know, Reverend Ike Eldberg was part of the crew of creating this. Reverend, so how interesting. Like I said, I don't know anything about this. The fact that they created their own mechanics and didn't just copy D&D or some other role-playing game. The fact that it has combat and magic. Oh my goodness, there's random encounters. We've got villages. Yeah. We've got the adventures in here. NPCs, etc. This is very intriguing. But the whole idea that instead of just solving everything by sword blows, and fireballs, instead your characters focus on solving problems within the world with a more of an ethical approach or maybe moral approach. That's actually interesting to me. That's the one thing I say is missing in role-playing games in the modern era. Really, since 3rd edition D&D came out, was that I call it player skill. Where you had players at the table who were veterans, who knew what they were doing and how to solve problems at the table without rolling dice necessarily. If they rolled dice, it was going to be in their favor. Why? Because of creative problem solving. Yeah, that's something that modern day gaming's pretty much pushed out of the scene. And I think RPGs without that aspect are just so much more boring. Yeah? That we're going to roll an attribute check for everything. This, that, the other. And if we don't roll, we just fail and we'll come back and roll some more. I miss player skill. I miss creative problem solving. So this actually really interests me. Not just the history of the game that is actually published and comes out of a church of all places, the Church of Sweden, but the mechanics of the game and the approach of the game. I don't know. It might not be up everybody's alley, but I think it's at least worth investigating whether you're part of the church or a Christian or not. Hey, it's fantasy role-playing. We're hobby gamers here. So, yeah. Big shout out to Brian to sending this over. I had never heard of this. I found no resources for this. It's not on drive-thru or anything. So he knows I love obscure RPGs. So this is right up my alley. This is right up my alley. I can't wait to dive into this, guys. Just like when we brought Imagine over. It was hard to imagine that no one had ever talked about the Imagine RPG on YouTube or anything. Yeah? What a response we've had to that. I had some people that felt like it was too much for them because it's super crunchy. I had other people who's fallen just in absolute love with the system. Yeah, big shout out to Mike Tenery. We're going to remind him that gigantic solo material book he was putting together, guys, you don't even know. He gave it to the community as a beta test type project for free. Yeah, last time I seen it, it was like 400 pages. This guy, he doesn't play around. Yeah, so we're anxiously awaiting the solo material for the Imagine RPG system. So a big shout out from Mike for all he does around our community and Martha. They do a lot around our community. They participate. They help make the show possible. But a big shout out also to them because I've never seen more people dedicated to the actual hobby of role-playing games than those two. And we're talking about dedicated. That they're spending chunks of their life. They're spending their own money. They're doing everything they can to make the role-playing game hobby stronger. Yeah? For those that thought Imagine is a little bit over your head and a little bit crunchy, if you're looking for something different, something a little more obscure, this one definitely looks like a much lighter approach. As far as actual game rules go, it looks like we're at 13 pages with examples and stuff interspread within those pages and large artworks. So this looks to be pretty rules light. I'm interested to see what this 3D6 system, the mechanics behind it actually are. But the just from first looks, the artwork and stuff in here, this is right up my alley. It's amazing. So big shout out to Brian for sending this over. Again, not a review, just opening it up literally out of its package that was sent over, taking a first look at it. We're gonna come back to it in a future episode. But guys, I absolutely love, basically archaeology of the tabletop scene. Digging up just lost treasures, things that no one's talked about in 20 years, 30 years, or whatever, and bringing them to the limelight. There's another big reason I like games before 3E, various systems, mainly because of game design. We're going to talk about that on a very near episode when we get into the OGL and such. But yeah, big thanks and shout out to Brian in Kentucky for sending over the way. Yeah. Did we catch up? we caught up a little bit. Guys, big shout out again to our channel members for hanging in there, even when I don't have time to jump on video, for supporting the channel. We're doing our best to get back in the driver's seat here. Big shout out to all of our subscribers. People walking in here. I probably should have put this at the first of the video. We are a community-based YouTube channel. You can join in by subscribing here. We got our Discord. We got our Facebook groups. We got all kind of various ways to get in to the community. It's a beautiful community here. It's full of true gamers and people that's really into the hobbies. And if you're looking for a place to come share a few memes and laugh, talk about gaming, share your miniatures that you're painting, talk about games that you're getting into, etc., I can't tell you of a better place to be. Anyway, I'm going to get off here and I'm going to throw this into the editor, add on the front piece and such. We run raw around here, by the way. No script. No script. When we do episodes like this, not even thought put into things other than I need to turn on the camera and get over my camera shyness. But anyway, good in there and throw the front piece and end piece on this video. And if I have time after that, I'll probably be on live streaming. I'm itching to play some Commodore 64, honestly. Anyway, you guys have a good time. If you can't have a good time, have a great time.
And this has been but one tale from the days of high adventure. You can join Devstalker 5 on his quest by hitting that subscription button and joining the Random Encounter Army. On the About page of our channel, you can find links to our Facebook and Discord groups so that you can join directly in the fun. And always remember, the best way to support our show is by using our affiliate links and joining our paid channel memberships for more exclusive content here on the Random Encounter Show.